We still don't really know who the heck they are, but President Obama wants to give the rebels in Syria $500 million for training and equipment. Ron Paul thinks that would be a very big mistake. The former Congressman, presidential candidate, joining us now. Why would it be a mistake, Congressman?
Well, it just continues the mistakes that we've been making over in that region of the world for the past 10, 12 years. But no, they don't know where the money goes. They don't know where the weapons go. They want to give it to the Free Syrian Army. We've done a lot of that already. But those weapons ended up in the hands of ISIS, and they were supposed to be used to get rid of Assad. Assad is more secure now than he was a few months ago. It's good for the military-industrial complex, and I guess they want to sell more weapons. But it makes no sense whatsoever for us to put more weapons in there to be used against, the Maliki government and the government that we spent so much blood and guts to establish, and a democratically elected government, by the way. But we have to get rid of Maliki now. At the same time, we want unity in the government. It just makes so much sense that we should change our foreign policy. This whole idea that we can be everything to everybody and we have endless money. I wonder how many Americans want to loan the government money to get that $500 million to buy more weapons. I don't think many Americans say, "Oh, that sounds like a good investment." I think I'm going to loan the government some money so they can pay these bills.
Well, the other issue is we don't know whose side we're on. I mean, we seem to quietly have welcomed Syria's role in Iraq and the western part of Iraq to crack down on ISIS. But these are the same folks who we want to take out of power by arming the rebels in Syria. So we don't know even consistently whose side to be on. This happened with the Arab Spring. You and I got into that after we were trying to figure out, all right, who's the side we like. I guess it ended up being the side that least detests us. So are you saying that just stop all this period, or what?
Well, what I'm saying is the policy never makes any sense. Not too many years ago, we were sort of on the side of Saddam Hussein when we urged him to fight the Iranians, and then we threw him out or helped get him out. And now we're on the side of the Iranians, who we put in a government that aligns themselves with Iran. So I don't know.
Well, do you worry, though, Congressman, that, and I think you and I got into this before, that if we don't get involved in whatever the good reasons for staying out of it, the Russians, the Chinese, they'll exert leverage or influence that will be to our detriment and our peril. You say what?
Yeah, sort of like the Soviets went into Afghanistan and settled that problem, and it helped bring down the Soviet system. No, why should we bog ourselves down? If somebody else wants to do it, that's their problem. But I don't think they will. I think what has happened is the realignment is going to come. We're not going to have a unified Iraq. I've argued that case for many, many years. It's not a good idea to try to unify a group of people who don't want to be unified. And I think ISIS, as evil as they are, they more or less knew the geography better. So they've carved out a new country, in theory, which actually overlaps the Kurdistan, which is likely to come out of all this. And this is a movement. It's going in one direction, and no matter what we do, how many weapons we send, we can't stop it. We can slow it up. We can bankrupt ourselves. We can kill a lot of people. But believe me, it's ultimately going to be divided up into several different countries, and that would be good. I think the smaller the units of government and the right of self-determination is very, very important.
Okay.
And we used to preach that, but we've forgotten all about it.
Real quick, I'm jumping on you here, Congressman, but I wanted to get you to weigh in on this suit on the part of Republicans led by John Boehner to challenge the president in court for all these executive orders. What do you make of that?
Well, I don't think it's going to go anywhere. I don't think it makes any sense. They probably won't have standing. And, I've always seen the Congress as part of the problem, if not the major part. They've ceded so much power to the executive branch, so the executive branch overreaches, I'm going to sue you. Well, I think there's a political solution to it when the president gets out of hand, and it's called impeachment. So I don't think that's...
Would you up the ante to that level?
Well, I've said that there aren't very many presidents in my lifetime that didn't deserve impeachment for one way or the other, because they usually were doing things that I disagreed with. But yeah, impeachment is a more logical position than suing him in court. But I want to put the blame across the board as bipartisan, and it's with the various departments in our government. The Congress, has given these powers to the president. Nobody says anything about the executive branch writing laws routinely. That's what the administrators do. They write regulations, and those are laws. So an executive order, sure, but you got to sort it out. Some executive orders are very, very constitutional. Presidents have a right to write executive orders, but they don't have a right to have the arrogance of the president say, well, the Congress doesn't do this. I have my telephone, I have my pen, and I'm going to do it. I don't know how anybody can put up with that. And that's probably what's aggravating what Boehner's doing. And maybe there'll be some good come of it, just call attention to it, so there's a little bit of PR benefits from these things. But as far as this lawsuit going someplace and solving the problem, I probably wouldn't have introduced that type of regulation myself.
Ron Paul, always a pleasure, sir. Thank you very, very much.